The Order of the Gnarled God. The Order of the Gnarled God was an ancient order who dwelled in the Welsh marches until the 80s, when they were destroyed by an alliance of occultic groups. The only survivor was a woman named Elena Ozolina, who wrote the surviving traditions of the old order in her notes, thus allowing it to continue into the 21st century. The order believed in a deity known as Zaz-I, otherwise known as the Gnarled God, who has been described as being a full-grown man with the head of a ram's skull. He is a deity of pleasure, desire, and freedom of oneself, as well as that of death and prophecy. It was believed that Zaz-I sleeps in the winter, rises in the spring, walks in the summer, and dies in the autumn, as such special holidays are practiced in accordance to the eternal cycle of the Gnarled God. The teachings of the order encouraged its members to do whatever they wanted, to be free from the shackles and constraints of society, and rise up as one's own individual. To not do so is against Zaz-I's will. Within the order, members wore black or red cloaks during nightly rituals. There was always a high priest or priestess who planned events and started these rituals in accordance to the cycles of the moon. They also kept most information of these rituals within a magical grimoire that only the high priest could look into, although some rituals and prayers were shared with the other members for personal dedication and practices. Altars to Zaz-I may include a visual representation of the god, black or red candles, a ram or bird skull, predictions of flies, ravens, goats and rams, and offerings of fruit, wine, meat, and sweets. It is important for new practitioners to have at least one staff, robe, and personal journal or grimoire for writing down their own traditions. Resources can be found online if one knows where to look. But because this tradition is fairly new in internet history, the order's history and traditions can be hard to find. All in all, the Order of the Gnarled God is a unique practice that guarantees freedom of expression for the practitioner, as well as a new way of looking at the world. The Order of the Gnarled God. Practice special days celebrated during the solstices and equinoxes, some of which are based on old Welsh festivals. The celebration of these days was to honour Zaz-I, as it was believed he was at his strongest during those days, and as such they are celebrated in order to both honour what he has done for his followers and the cycle he committed himself to. These holidays were Halloween, Nos Galan Gaeaf, the winter and summer solstices, Noswyl Iguan Wyn, otherwise known as Springtide Eve and Autumn Eve, or in Welsh, Noswyl Hydref. Each of these holidays correspond with the seasonal cycle of Zaz-I. Halloween was a celebration for the dead and Zaz-I's passing. Winter was a celebration of the gods. Sacrifice and rituals were practiced for his reawakening. Springtide was to celebrate the rebirth of the god. The summer was to honor the bounty of nature provided by him, and Autumn's Eve was to honor the harvest and acknowledge the weakening of Zaz-I. These holidays were acts of respect to not only the god, but also to members of the order. The days of power, as they were called, helped members rewind, have fun, and relieve stress. These days were happy occasions, meant for parties, dancing, and music. That is all for today. Please like and subscribe to this channel, as even though I may not post much, the support from people interested in what I do would be very much welcome. Goodbye, and may the God be with you.